do you avoid probate? A lot of us hear the term probate and we think, oh, that's a horrible thing. Avoid probate, avoid it at all costs. So there are ways to avoid probate. First of all, what is probate? Probate is a legal process to administer your estate upon your death. Your will is filed with the court. The court appoints an executor or personal representative to manage your estate. That means to pay any valid creditors and to gather up all the assets and then to distribute them. Probate is a different process in different states. In Washington, it's a pretty easy process, typically non-intervention. The court isn't involved. In other states, intervention or the court being involved is part of the process. Obviously, that makes it more costly, more difficult if the court is involved. Other states like California, they charge a fee based on the value of the estate, which can be quite high. But in Washington, lawyers typically charge for the work that they do, and it's a fairly simple process. Having said that, sometimes as an estate planning and elder law attorney, I say, your estate should be set up to avoid probate. There is no benefit to a probate. Let's avoid probate for you. So as the attorney, I'm still going to draft the will. We need the will as a backup for whatever the person's plan is, because part of estate planning is planning for the what if this goes wrong or that goes wrong or they don't set up things correctly. So what I'm going to be talking about is how do you set up things correctly to avoid a probate. So let's take an example. Let's say you're a single person, you have your house, and you have your bank account and your life insurance policy and your IRA. And you're a single person, and let's say you don't have kids, or you have nieces and nephews, it doesn't matter. You want your assets all to go to, let's say, your 2 kids. How are you going to do that? In the past, the primary reason for a probate in this example would be that the house needed to pass through probate. Now what we have in Washington is what's called a transfer on death deed, and you actually sign this transfer on death deed before your death, and you say, I want my house to go equally to my 2 kids. You record it with the county, and then what happens upon your death is that they simply need to go to the county, file a couple of forms, and now they own the house without the necessity of a probate. It's very, very simple. The point is that you can direct assets to pay where you want them to pay on your death. Think of your life insurance policy. You know, on that you have what's called a beneficiary designation. If you want it to go to your 2 kids, you just put their names on the beneficiary designation on your death. All they need to do is show your death certificate and put in a claim form on the life insurance policy, and the proceeds are paid to them. Same thing is true for your IRA, your 401k, and even your investment and bank accounts. You can put on those accounts what's called a direction, a pay on death or a transfer on death direction, that what happens to the assets on your death. They are directed to pay to someone. And that someone or someones, all they need to do is take the death certificate, fill out any necessary claim forms, and the assets then will pay to them, all without the need for any probate at all. So avoiding probate sometimes is an excellent estate plan. Not always, but what I'm talking about here is how to avoid probate if it makes sense to do so, if what you want and what's appropriate for you is a very simple estate administration on your death. Very simple being everything basically pays automatically because you set it up correctly.